Hello my friend, welcome back to Breakfast with Sergio. Super happy to have you here today. In this episode, I want to talk to you about, do I always need to come up with something new in my art? Does my art always have to be something new? Is there such thing as new? Well, that's a great question, and today, my friend, I'm doing Breakfast with Sergio right from my studio, as this is a work in progress right behind me. It's one of those works that's just always changing, always in progress, hasn't really been finished. I don't know how it's going to end up, but it's right there. So this week, my friend, I was having a great conversation with one of the members of my Art Next Level membership community, the coaching community that we have. And the question that we were talking about was, Sergio, how do I come up with something new? I have an idea sometimes, and I think it's a new idea. Then the more I'm looking at social media, for example, or the web, I find that other artists are already working in that idea. And so, this thing that I thought was new, well, it ended up not being so new idea anymore, because I know a lot of people are doing it already. And, do I always have to come up with a new idea? Let's say if I'm a landscape artist, or I'm a portrait artist, or whatever it is that you make, is there such thing as new? Do I need to always come up with something new that has never been done before? And that's a wonderful question, because art is being made every day, every minute, every second. Somewhere in the world, an artist is making something. And I believe that has been the case, for years and years and years, right? However, now we have the immediacy of social media, where we can actually see what other artists are doing, right away, right from our cell phone, from our mobile device. We have this immediate access to what artists are doing. And of course, as artists, we have immediate access to the world by posting what we are doing in our studio or elsewhere. So this question of, how do I come up with something new, something that has never been done before? And what I have to say on this, I think, is that, there's no such thing probably as new. Maybe what you are thinking about that you think is so new that you don't want anybody to see, sometimes, you realize that, actually, you see somebody somewhere else. Maybe you see somebody else in some other part of the world. Say, how did they come up with this? Are they copying me? Are they watching my studio? How do they, look doing something with a similar idea? Even if they're not, they're in another part of the world, you don't even know who they are. So I think, my friends, it's like this. Recently, I had to go to the dealership and get a new car, because my car that I had been driving for so many years, it was just getting too old. So I had no choice but to go and get a new one. So I went to the dealership with my wife, and we got there. And there was this nice little minivan that I had never seen before. And it was pretty cool. I really like it. And that's the one we got. And, there was a lot of features that I like about it. One is small, and I love small cars. And, as we were talking about it, it's like, I haven't seen this car hardly anywhere. So I think it's pretty neat. It's pretty nice. And, as soon as I got it, now, of course, I see it everywhere, right? Everywhere I turn, I see the same car. And I think, it's kind of similar, when we're thinking about what's new in the art world, in the things that we produce as artists. Sometimes we think that we have something new, but because we are not aware of it, we don't actually recognize it and see it in other people until, we are conscious about it. Then we start seeing it everywhere, or not everywhere, but we see other people doing, similar things or ideas, or pursuing similar approaches to what we may be thinking about. So the idea, I think, for us as artists, and this is what I was having this conversation this week, was maybe it's not the whole thing about, do I need to make something new that nobody has ever done? But the idea is, what is the approach that I'm going to take as an artist? What is that unique approach that I'm going to take that brings in who I am as an artist, my abilities, my sensibilities, my personal touch, my personal view on something that maybe others have already done, but as it goes and is filtered through me, it comes out in a new or newer or unique way. And I think that's a great way to see it, because you don't have to be always looking for what's new that nobody else has done, which a lot of times I get artists who send me emails and say, Sergio, I have something new, nobody's doing this, and I haven't shown it to anybody. I have this new technique or this new whatever, and they send me some pictures, and well, when I see it, sometimes, it's hard to break it, but I have already seen things like this from other artists doing, similar ideas. So, it's impossible to know that what everybody else is doing in the world. So I think when we think about, I don't have to come up with something that's totally new in the scheme of the world or what is making right now, but how do I take something, whatever it is that you're passionate about, you're interested about, and bring it through your filter of your own experience as a human being, as an artist, through your experience, through what you do, through your technique, through your style, and come up with something that's personal, so that declares your personal vision, right? That declares your personal approach to that theme, to that idea. Take portraiture, for example. Portraiture is so hard, right? Because many artists are doing portraiture. So how can you take the idea of portraiture, bring it to your filter, and present it in a way that's very much personal to you, that you can then own that approach and that way of seeing. So I think that's the big challenge when you think about the newest thing, right? Looking at what's new. Yesterday, had the opportunity to go to Expo Chicago. So those of you, my friends who are here in Chicago, I highly recommend it. Go check out Expo Chicago right on Navy Pier. It's a wonderful art expo that we have this year. I think Tony Carman and their team have done a wonderful, great job in putting together a fabulous expo this year. I think it's really high caliber. I really enjoyed it, and looking at the work and looking, going through booth, and looking at the work, I kept thinking about this idea of the new, right? And as I look, and more I look, it's things that as artists, we have seen maybe before, but I enjoy seeing when an artist takes something that we know and brings it, through her own filter, and comes up with a new way of seeing it. That's really what I enjoy in the art fair, and I really had a great time kind of looking for those nuances of how an artist filters what we already know, what we already understand, maybe what others have done in the past many times, but bringing it through a new filter, and it comes out on a new interesting way. So thanks, my friends, for watching Breakfast with Sergio today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends. That's something that I would love. If you could do for me, all you have to do is just click on that share button, send me a comment, put a comment down here if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, or if you're listening to the podcast, please share it with your friend. And if you want to check out my art community, just go to www.theartistnextlevel.com, where we can work together and also help you take your art career to the next level. Thanks, my friends, and we'll see you in the next episode of Breakfast with Sergio. Bye.